Popsicle sticks are in the air for Josh Berry. And Josh Berry works his way off turn 4. Involved in 2 wrecks. Wrecked out early in turns 3 and 4 in a chain reaction. Clawed his way back forward. Got used as a ramp by another car into the outside wall. And despite all of that, he soldiered on, stole the lead from Bobby McCarty with less than 40 to go, and Josh Berry is a winner at the Ace Speedway in the Cars Late Model Stock Tour. What a performance by Berry and the Junior Motorsports crew. Ryan Millington finishes second, followed by Deke McCaskill, Bobby McCarty, and Adam Lemke, the top 5. Here he comes, out of the race car, Josh Berry, a winner at Ace Speedway. Two wrecks from the back to the front. How did you do it? What was the motivation, or are you still asking yourself that same question?
I don't know. Obviously, at the beginning when we got turned around, that wasn't good. But man, I just felt calm. I just could tell early on that we had a really good car. We just didn't get a good qualifying lap, and I mean, it's obviously been a long week for everybody at Junior Motorsports with the passing of Brenda. I mean, Willie and Brenda are honestly a huge part of why I'm here. When I moved here 10 years ago to drive late models, they let me live at their house for like 2 months. And without them and their hospitality and doing that, I might not be here today. And it's just been a long week for everybody. Dale, Kelly, LW, I know they've been going through a lot the last few months, so this one's for them. And this one's for, obviously, our great sponsor, All Things Automotive, Mark Thomas. Thank you for supporting me. We got a great-looking race car, bright green, can't miss it. And I obviously want to thank all my guys and say hi to my wife at home. She couldn't be here tonight.
How much does this mean now to your organization to know we finally got things back on track?
You know, I feel like, this has been a place that we've struggled a little bit, and I don't know, we just figured it out tonight. Just a couple little things we were able to adjust on and make our car better, and that thing at the end, it just had such a feel like Martinsville, man. It turned so good, and I could just get it pointed and come off straight off the bottom like that, man. It was just a matter of time until we just kept picking them off, and thank the good Lord above that we didn't get caught up in a lot of trouble when we were back in the back. We were able to kind of, sneak through it there and missed a big one there on the front stretch. I mean, that was just a bad situation. I didn't know which way to go. And like I said, everything worked out for tonight. Thank all our guys. Thank you, Dale, Kelly, All Things Automotive. Thank Cars Tour. Everybody that does this is awesome. Thank all the fans for coming out here tonight. It feels really good to get a win here.
All right, we got Chris Ragle from the Cars Tour on the line here, joining us. Chris, thanks for taking our call, buddy.
Yeah, excited to be back with you guys. Seems like it's been a little bit since Orange County, but definitely glad to be back with you guys here after Ace.
Yeah, it feels like we've been on vacation from the Cars Tour anyways. I mean, almost a month in between the race there.
Yeah, well, I took a vacation, so there's a lot of stress, a lot of work that went into Orange County, so getting back in the swing of things, and I know you guys are on it all the time, but yeah, it was a nice little week for us for sure.
All right, well, tell us about Ace. Take us through, your side of everything. As far as looked like watched it on TV, looked like the crowd was really good, car count was really good, but you tell us about it from your side.
Yeah, Ace was a good event. Jason and Robert Turner, just first of all, just great people to work with. Really glad that Ace Speedway's in their hands. They, when you pull up, the grass was clean and cut, and the track was nice, and they were painting walls Friday after practice. So that just says a lot to creating a big show, making us and making the competitors and everything feel like it's a big event. So, big thanks to those guys. At 25 strong race cars. We had 23 last year, so that's an uptick. I saw a lot of saw a lot of mechanical gremlins on guys on Friday and even into Saturday. I bet you there was, and maybe you guys might know about the end of this, but I think we had maybe 6 different rear ends break throughout the weekend, guys, and a couple engines change, and Tommy Lemons had to go and go and bring another car and engine to the track. So, just a lot of mechanical gremlins. So, but luckily everybody worked their tails off from the competitor standpoint and had all 25 cars start. And some good racing. Had a little incident early that put a lot of front runners. Eventual winner Josh Berry to the back. So that's probably the show headline part of the event. But a little rough from my standpoint. Ace is a very, very technical track. I think, we've had some really young guys, inexperienced guys have some good runs, and I think Ace kind of put them back in their place, and saw some guys that really know how to get around there and been racing a long time more up front. Still great surprise runs by St. Orange and of course Ryan Wellington putting it on the pole and Josh coming back up through there after getting spun.
That was pretty amazing.
That was impressive. His car was really working good.
And he was in
Bobby
multiple incidents and still won.
Multiple.
Yeah,
he was in it. I guess when you got so many cautions there, it kind of maybe made it a little bit easier because guys were wrecking each other out. I know when I was, race control, I was saying, "Hey guys, it's 10:30. Let's get this in," So, but great crowd. That region, Orange County Ace, all that really supports the Cars Tour. It really comes out, and that's great to see. This is, if you think about it, this is Ace Speedway's first full season. And I know Ace doing a lot of stuff there, so
yep.
It's great to see that.
It is for sure, no doubt about that. It was good to see packed house. I watched it on CarsTour.tv, which is amazing, by the way. Tony Stevens does such a great job with that. I know. It kind of Demolition Derby, I know you kind of mentioned it, how rough it was earlier. That's what it kind of looked like in the beginning of the race. The first 3 or 4 cautions there kind of came really quick. You mentioned St. Ange, man, that kid has run good every race, driving, of course, for Lee and Michael Falk, and, that kid's been impressive, and I know that's somebody who I don't think any of us expected at the beginning of the year to be that good or to kind of stick with it. I don't think they were planning on running the whole tour, but right now, I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah, doing the points today, he's tied with King McCaskill for 16 points, if that tells you anything. And he's probably only about 25, 24 out of the lead. And to give you an idea, Bobby McCarty is second, 19 points behind Josh. So Josh is definitely been Mr. Consistency. But if you look at the point standings from second to probably about 10th or 11th or 12th, they're just consistently right there on top of each other. So. So far, Josh has been the one that hasn't had bad luck or an incident and kept his nose clean. But we've kind of gone through and working on some articles and new stuff and on surprises so far as we are a third of the way of the season. And I think St. Ange is definitely taking the cake as far as a surprise that no one expected.
Yeah, no doubt.
Including them, I don't think.
Right.
I talked to Lee Falk before the race, and he said, I don't think we're that good. But he says that every time, and somehow they end up trudging their way through the front. Yeah,
he's that kid's done a great job for sure.
He's not a great qualifier, but he qualified 16th and finished 6th. So once again, he did what he's supposed to do.
Right, for sure. As far as car counts goes, man, 25 there. You guys have kind of, held the banner there, as far as car counts goes. And it's good to see the car counts continue, because I really thought by the time we got to Ace that you'd be down around the 20 mark or so.
Well, this was our lowest car count this year, 25.
Right.
I think if you do the math, we're averaging 28 and a half, so we're averaging more than a starting field. We're averaging more than we start, so we're averaging sending guys home, which is impressive from our standpoint. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I expect a little uprise or at least another 25 coming at Motor Mile. That's a track that a lot of people are excited to get back to. They haven't been there since over a year, and to have a couple more than we did at Ace a year ago, that's awesome.
Hey, Chris, this is Doc Love. Being a competition director and overseeing every, competition, last year, there was only 11 racers that raced in this race last year. Any surprises? Some of these new faces that are coming here are really starting to stretch their wings. Who's kind of been surprising to you? Who's really starting to sprout some wings for you? Who's impressed you?
Well, I think, if you look guys that were from a year ago that are racing here, two of those guys, ran well or have ran well, had a little bit of bad luck. But if you look at, Trevor Ward, I know he had high expectations for this race. He brought a brand new race car that never been out, brand new, and he was pretty quick, good racing car, and just new car woes. He had a power steering line blow early on, so that was an early caution. And then same thing with Brandon Pierce. Obviously, he's already got a win this year, and I think he would have had another good car, and he just kind of fought some troubles. But I think those guys, if you look a year ago to now, those guys are two that probably stand out a little bit. A good question is we finally saw one of our former champions get their first win, and you couldn't have told me that it'd take to the fourth race in the year for either Deke or Bobby or Josh Berry to get their first win. So that's probably maybe the headline still is being impressed.
Right, that's definitely a surprise. All those guys have run really good. Looked like Bobby McCarty's kind of finally, he kind of started off the season a little slow, and he's finally kind of starting to get there to where he can win races. And I'm sure I don't know how much experience he has at Motor Mile. I don't think it's a lot, but that could be a good track for him to get his first win of the season too.
Absolutely.
All right. Before we look ahead to Motor Mile, one question I had for you from the other night was the 17 car. Taylor Gray got parked.
Yep.
Wanted you to elaborate on that and explain exactly what happened there.
Yeah, and I talked to him a little bit after the race. I didn't catch it, but we texted back and forth, and I think how that particular situation is him being frustrated that he got caught up in an early incident, and he was the second place points man. And once again, another good call by the DGR camp, but and me being frustrated as a senseless caution, and it was a thing that I think it was pretty clear talking to him and the team. They understood as well. He's 16 laps down, two guys in front of him are on the lead lap racing for position. While he might be faster than him, he's young, and this is what the car store is about for those young guys. He's learning, and even though he's faster and he's 16 laps down and he's right in front of me, I feel like I hold guys to high standards. He has to realize, especially that he's a winner, he has to realize that he just got to back out of it and let those guys do their thing, because there's nothing to gain and everything to hurt. So, just thought it was a opportunity that maybe just to chill out and relax, and whenever you don't want to put a young kid like that into multiple frustrations. And like I said, so we just parked him. There wasn't that many laps left to go really in the race, and once again, like 16 laps down, and I think it was a pretty
right.
I don't want to know the word, but I thought it was the right call, and I don't think there was a whole argument from their side of things as well.
Right. I imagine it was extremely frustrating for him. I mean, he's been a front runner in every race so far this season, and I'm sure he was expecting to be a front runner in that race. So
they tested a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
2 or 3 days, I think.
I imagine that that was probably a really a struggle for a kid who's run as good as he has to kind of be in that position.
Well, yeah, and you're gonna, that's the whole part for what the Cars Tour is. There's a reason I think we have these car counts is because we built a series with quality veteran guys that you can race with, and he's a guy who's raced with those and shown he can race with those guys when the car's great and things are in his favor. So part of that learning curve is also knowing, hey, whenever you're having a shit night, just accept it, go on, be smart. And, let guys go, and he'll learn that.
Right, for sure. All right, looking ahead to Motor Mile, as far as locals go there, they're shut down last year. You guys haven't been there since 2015. What are you expecting as far as local guys who might enter that race?
Well, I was talking to General Manager Michelle Watt. They race this weekend. She expects another good car count there. They had a great car count for their season opener and good fan support. So I really hope that some of the Cars Tour guys, some of her local guys and the fans really go out there and support that. Some of the people that she's talked to, Mike Looney, which would be a great addition to the series, has shown pretty significant interest. I know I expect Ryan Repko to make his Cars Tour debut here this season. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Van Dyke is in the mix there. Those are just some of the names I've heard. Jack was at Nashville on the super side. I think we'll have a 25 car field in the super late model race. I know.
That'll be really good.
If you look on Bubba Pollard will be, said he was there. Stephen Massey will be there. I'm trying to think who else that he, we were passing out flyers and doing our work, and there's a good handful of those guys that are perhaps run more. There's a good handful of guys that he talked to while he was there, and that we've heard too. I had a call from the Lopez group up that way there in the 96, Day Motorsports. They're already in it, I know. So, late model stocks, I expect another strong count, maybe some locals, but I think it could be an opportunity where we see 50 race cars at Motor Mile, 25 in each division.
That'd be really impressive for sure. Ace was one of the first times, for you guys this year anyways, where a lot of the local divisions are running. I know a couple of the local divisions are running with you at Motor Mile. How did that side go at Ace Friday?
Well, I think, when we have these standalone events like the late model stocks, I think it's good to have those, put a ticket and a show together to have that. Right. The biggest thing, I think the Ace Speedway folks learn that too. I think, there's a fine line between having just enough and too many. Right. And I believe 6 divisions in one night, especially on a Friday night, is too much. And I think Ace Speedway learned that. And, so I think there's a fine line. I'm a huge proponent, and I know you guys probably have talked about this before. Obviously we don't run a track, but it's much better to have, instead of having 6 or 7 divisions with 7 or 8 cars in it, it's better to have 3 divisions with strong car counts, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So, I think it went well, but we hit our Virginia run after Motor Mile, the Supers. We don't see them again till Bristol, and then in our region, at the throwback race. So we go up to Langley and Dominion with their local stuff. So I think it went well. It's a little challenging. It's a little different, but overall it went well. It's an opportunity for those local guys to shine in front of a big crowd as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully you guys will have a good crowd at Motor Mile. I know the first race, we were there last week. They had a really good crowd and a really good, crowd of people in the pits too. So hopefully that'll carry over into you guys' event. Is there anything else that that we missed, didn't talk about from Friday, or anything else that you want to talk about, going forward?
Well, talking about Motor Mile Speedway, up this weekend, and then of course the week of, but up this weekend, Motor Mile will have $3 off coupons for folks to take advantage of. So if you're going out to Motor Mile, get a $3 off coupon there at the gate and the concession stand. They'll be handing out, so you can bring back the next week's college tour race and save a little bit of money. So that's. As far as Ace, I thought it went well. It's time to turn focus on the Motor Mile. I think we've got exciting event ahead, and here we are hitting the summer months, and I think we're still on a high note, and that's a good thing. For us, getting back to Motor Mile is a big thing. It's Motor Mile is one of the great facilities. Car count's always been great. I think the track people love. We just got to have that crowd support. That's our whole goal with the car stores. Are significantly different than other people. We want the people in the grandstands to pay for the guys to put on the show in the infield. We don't need the guys in the infield paying for the event. That's totally our thing. That's the only difference between asphalt and dirt, in my opinion. They have a great crowd that helps pay for the big person.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to do with the car store. And I just really hope that the Motor Mile region comes out and supports it. If we have 50 race cars and a $20 ticket, I don't think there's a better option for our show on May 18th around.
Chris, is Roger. What do you guys have had pretty good success in getting some decent crowds here lately. What do you attribute that to? Just to the ground pounding, or the calling, or the going out handing out tickets? Or I mean, you've really had pretty good crowds. You know what I mean? I thought the Ace crowd was really good, as to what I had expected. I had been there a couple weeks before, and the crowd was okay. Their opener, blah blah blah. But then I thought you had a great crowd. I would have never had expected. I thought the facility looked great. I thought you had a great crowd. What's leading to that?
Well, I think it's a few things. I do think that in a day and age where people can go buy $100 on Facebook and think that works, while that's one thing, and one thing that we do well, it's the right content through the social channels, it's the right content through the radio ads, but it's still, a lot of that fan base is in the market, ground and pound, posters, banners, things like that, and that's a huge thing. The other aspect that we do is obviously the Touring 12 part of their agreement is to help promote that, and it's a strategic plan of getting those guys to help promote some stuff. I think some of it is just building. It's been a 5-year trip to get to this plan. We could go to Motor Mile and have a great crowd. I hope that's the case. When we first were there, we were a new series and no one ever heard of us and didn't know what it was and things like that. So I think some of it takes time, but even like I said, even this event at Motor Mile, we're out in the community and hanging posters and doing coupons and doing some of our good content. If you look at our social content, it's not just on race weekends. It's every day. It's a little something. It's behind the scenes. It's interviews, things like that. And we're still doing those traditional newspaper and radio stuff, and a lot of it is ground and pound coffee shops and places like that. So it's a variety of things.
Well, I think you guys are definitely, on top of the social media aspect. I think you guys do a better job than most any racetrack that I see, and it's good to hear that somebody's still taking the old school approach there, and pounding on the pavement and making things happen. Anyways, we gotta cut you out of here, but we appreciate you joining us, and keep up the good work. We'll talk to you after Motor Mile.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.